Hey, Sammy.
You're always welcome on. So, Toy, tell me about this amazing project of yours. I'm so excited about it. America's excited about it, and I just want to hear all about it.
Yes, my name is Toy Lei. I play Auntie Victoria on The Brother's Son. If you haven't watched it, I don't want to give out any spoilers. So I won't talk too much about the plot, but it's based. I will say that it is Asian American centric, specifically Chinese American centric. And it takes place here in the major Chinese American zones in Los Angeles. And it's a
Very nice.
action comedy. I think that's what I should be able to say without giving out spoilers.
Incredible. And what is your role exactly in the show?
I play Auntie Victoria. She's one of the mahjong aunties, and if you know anything about Chinese culture, uh, we the weekends are filled with our immigrant parents playing mahjong all weekend. So, oh, hi, Pam. uh, are filled with the with our parents playing mahjong all weekend. It's their socialization time. It's like kind of like bridge if you don't play it. And so you're always so it's a four-person table just like bridge. And so even if you're and it's usually the tables are many times separated out by the aunties will play on one table and the uncles will play on another table. So you're usually there with three other families. Um, and so it's a big, and so we all have grown up with mahjong pencils. So I'm playing with mahjong pencils.
Oh, how fun. And in what ways would you say you relate to your character? And if you don't, does your character have any characteristics that you wish you had?
Well, as you can tell, I'm an ABC. I'm an American-born Chinese. So uh, I wasn't the one playing mahjong. It was my parents and my uncles. In the sense that I do relate to that, because I totally know the experience. My grandma, as a matter of fact, I mean, by the way, mahjong is a money-based game. Like you win and lose money. It's gambling. It's Chinese gambling, via bridge. Um, and if you played against my grandma, you would lose all your money to her. And by the way, if you played against my grandma and you weren't fast enough, like meaning picking and in bridge you pick and dump cards. So in mahjong you pick and dump these tiles, these little square tiles. Um, if you don't play fast enough, they kick you from the table. You can't sit there and think about your hand. You have to sit there and really go after it. Yeah. She didn't
Oh,
she
that
didn't
sounds
want
like
she didn't want she didn't even want her own children, my mom and my aunties, to play with her because they were too slow. So I tried to when I was playing Auntie Victoria and we were doing the actual mahjong playing, I really tried to think about playing fast. So like my grandmother played because she was there.
it's incredible. Your grandma sounds like an incredible lady.
Uh, yeah, she was pretty great. Everybody loved her. She was totally a gambler. She would take your money and not think anything of it. You lost it. Too bad.
That is amazing. And what would you say was the biggest challenge about playing Auntie Victoria?
I was always worried that my Chinese and my Chinglish, because I spoke both in Chinese and English, but I had to speak them. I was always worried I really wanted it to be authentic. I really wanted it to sound like my aunt. You know, both the Chinese, like native like Chinese, as well as the Chinglish sounding like my aunt's Chinglish. So I was always worried about that. But no one's complained about it so far, and I think a bunch of people have watched it. So, and a bunch of Chinese Americans have watched it, and they haven't complained about it. So we did okay.
Mhm. And tell me, without giving too much away or too many spoilers, what is your favorite scene that you filmed and your favorite one scene you're looking forward to everybody seeing?
Um, well, the one scene that I loved, and actually I think everybody loved because people are talking about it, is the episode 3. And they talk about the number one seafood restaurant in Alhambra. I don't want to talk about anything more, but gives away the joke. But apparently NPR actually quoted that line because they loved that so much. And every time one of my friends come up to me, they're like, "Oh my God, that number one seafood restaurant line," and they just start laughing. So I'm very grateful that the writers had given me such a delicious line to deliver. You know, because when NPR starts quoting your work, you know you've done something right. You know.
Yeah, that's when you know you've made it when NPR is talking. Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, that's when I heard because I've been watching the reviews and grateful. By the way, thank you all the fans who and the people who watched and really have loved it, and even the ones who didn't love it. It's interesting to read what they're saying about it and why they don't like it. But for everybody who's watched it, thank you, and for the people who have loved it, uh, you know, it's you know it's weird. It's weird to be on the other side of the table. I haven't. This is my first time I've really been on a hit show that's really kind of killed it, right? So to and I always listen to NPR and their cultural reviews and stuff because it's fun to listen to. And so to hear our review and then have them quote my line, it was seriously a weird sensation, a bucket list moment.
Well, congratulations on that. I'm so happy for you.
Thank you.
And what I like is the casting of your co-stars. Tell me a little bit about working with them because they're pretty amazing too.
Yeah, which ones are you talking about? You're talking about the rest of the aunties? You're talking about like the whole general
The
cast?
whole general, yeah.
Yeah,
Because you're
no,
all so incredible.
yeah. So it's kind of well, you want me to talk about Michelle Yeoh? She's freaking great. I mean, everyone loves her, and there's a reason why. I mean, we all know we love her. But when you're talking about Justin and Sam, who play the brothers, uh, you know, you know, it's kind of weird. Set set is kind of weird because you show up and if it's your first day on set, you don't know anybody really most of the time. You hardly know anybody. And you're supposed to instantly kind of have a relationship with them because that's what you portray on the screen, right? Um, but Sam and Justin made it so easy to have an instant relationship with them because they're really nice, great guys. They're super cool, nice guys. Um, there's no pretense about them, and I follow them on Insta. Um, we all follow each other, but so and the kind of vibes he gives off on Insta are exactly Justin, the kind of vibes he gives off on Insta, and Sam are exactly who they are. It's like they are kind, they are fun, they are talented, of course. And so and they were just instrumental in making the relationship happen instantly without any weirdness. It's just like, you know, introductions and then action, go. Have an instant be in some sort of relationship here. Like you're his auntie, like you're instant, you've known him, So but but so it was really great to they were really great. It was really fun. I didn't get to work with anybody else except for Jenny, who's also very kind. It was a very, very loving set. Um, and I think that shows on screen. It's when you have a set that's with someone, we've heard those kind of disaster sets in the tabloids and whatever. Um, and it's just really hard to work in those on those sets. Everyone's just trying to do their best work, and then there might be a distraction here or there, whether it's cast or crew or whatever. But none of that was on this set. This set was a very easy set. It was great. We just kind of ripped through the scenes and got stuff done. It was pretty great. I feel very fortunate, just from a professional standpoint, to be able to work with people who were kind and generous and, again, passionate about their work. And it doesn't do for just one person to be passionate. It has to be everybody to be passionate. And I think that's what you see on the screen, right? I mean, let me ask you this: when you watched the show, did you what kind of vibe did you feel from it in terms of did you get a warm and fuzzy feeling, except for the bloody kung fu scenes, but on the rest of the scenes, did you get a warm and fuzzy feeling?
Yeah, except for that. You know what? I really liked the chemistry. Like you said, I could feel the chemistry. It was real. It was real. It wasn't how sometimes on shows you could tell, oh, the chemistry, they're kind of faking it. This, no, you could tell it was real.
Yeah,
So I definitely
everybody
agree with you
really
there.
liked
Except
each
for all the blood and all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, no, everybody really liked each other. It's not like we were on set, we're going I love you, and trying to fake it. But no, there was all um, legitimate love and respect. Oh, it was great. Very fortunate to get to be in it.
Yeah, you're very lucky. A lot of places don't have that, but you're very lucky. You're absolutely right. So, Toy, what's next for you?
Um, well, I also direct, and my film Moon was just at the Borrego Springs Film Festival, and we actually won Best Director, which is that was pretty great. I just came back on
Amazing.
Monday. Yeah, I just came back on Monday. It was pretty great.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I am heading off on Friday to go shoot another film in Florida. And then it's back to looking for another job. I mean, I'm crossing my fingers that the Brother's Son will get a second season. It still hasn't been determined yet. I think they're probably negotiating. I mean, we're doing well, so I can't imagine that they're not negotiating something. You know what I mean? I'm not privy to that knowledge. I'll find out later, and hopefully the Mahjong Auntie's made a big enough hit that we'll be back. And with the rest of the crew for a second season, they decide to shoot it.
Nice. Well, I have a really good feeling you're going to get another season, and I have a really good feeling your next project's going to be wonderful as well. And one thing I'm asking people I interview is tell me a fun fact about yourself.
Fun facts. I used to be a snowboard instructor.
Oh, nice.
I was a snowboard instructor for 5 seasons. The only reason why I stopped was because I moved to California.
Okay, okay.
Before here, I lived in New York, and they had this infrastructure, New York City, as we talked about earlier, but they have an infrastructure of going back and forth to the mountains 6 days a week, easily on a bus. And you just jump the bus, get up there, it gets up there, and it comes right back, and it's great. Um, LA doesn't really necessarily have that infrastructure, so it's difficult to drive 2.5 hours, ride all day, drive back 2.5 hours, and do that 3 or 4 times a week. If there was a bus, I'd probably stay this new one, but I don't really have that kind of endurance anymore to be able to. I mean, I'll fall asleep on the way back home. But yeah, I'm when I do get a moment, when I do go to, for example, film festivals or travel for work, clearly I'm going to Florida, so I probably won't be staying in Florida. But if we were shooting in New York, I'd probably go spend a day in the mountain. When I went to Sundance, I did get on the mountain for sure. I made that he made that a priority actually. Skipped a day of movies and went to ride instead. So it's more like at this point, when I get a moment, not like before when I was teaching and I was in the back doing practice.
I gotta try to, even though I've lived on the East Coast my entire life, I've never done that. So I'm gonna have to add that to my bucket list now to learn.
But it's super fun, and if I can give a little bit of advice to anybody who has never snowboarded and wants to snowboard, definitely get sign up for a class because that class really helps. And you don't want to ask for the first time snowboarders, you don't want to ask your friends to teach you because it is an hour and a half of them just standing around waiting for you to learn how to put your snowboard on, and that's so not fun. So yeah, I take that class, and then after that, if you've got a great instructor, you'll be riding the rest of the day. It's
I'm
so
gonna
fun.
do it. I'm gonna do it. Just for you, I'm doing it.
Well, let me know how that goes. I would love to take some video.
I will. I will. And just what TV say too, what are you watching these days?
Other than the brother stuff.
Other than the brothers, yes.
Um, well, my favorite show of all for the past, I think this is the top show in the past decade. And that's Andor. And if anyone
Nice.
in Andor land is out there listening to me, I'm available for your acting needs or directing needs. I love that show. I think it's the
Throwing
best
it
show
in the universe for
since,
you.
yeah, the best show since Battlestar Galactica. I mean, and it's I know it's kind of weird to say that, maybe she's just a sci-fi girl and that's what she's into. But the lovely thing about Battlestar Galactica and Andor, which is why I consider it one of the two best shows in the past 2 decades, is because they can not be sci-fi. You could just take their plot lines and put it here in LA or there in Pennsylvania or there in, Egypt, whatever. And it would be completely relevant. And it would, I don't know. Do you like Andor?
Yes, and I love Battlestar. Now, is it the OG Battlestar or the one that came out a few years ago?
No, the OG Battlestar is laughable, which is what made the Battlestar with with Six and all those guys so great was they were able to turn the OG Battlestar, which was so I don't want to be mean, it wasn't the greatest, but they were able
Yeah.
to turn that into something that was so the OG Battlestar was kind of like, laugh laugh like semi-comedy to the point
Yeah.
laughable because it was campy. Um, and then they were able to take that and turn it into high political drama. Amazing. I mean, and to make it all work without messing with the mythology. That was highly impressive.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. I mean, I like the OG, but I like the one that came out a few years ago a lot better.
Yeah, like it's kind of weird because you can't watch the modern Battlestar Galactica. I mean, you could, but you cannot appreciate for what it is without watching the original one. You know what I mean? It's kind of,
Exactly.
do you like Terminator 1 or do you like Terminator 2? Terminator 2 is clearly the better movie, but without watching Terminator 1, you don't understand the impact and the significance of Terminator. Does it make sense what I'm saying?
Exactly, yeah. And finally, someone gets it.
Well, I was just asked to be on a podcast today talking about um, whether the fake science in science fiction was real enough.
Oh, that's interesting. I gotta listen to that.
Like, like it drives me mad when bloody blah blah is doing this, and it's all the fake science. Like this ship, like the interstellar ship, is doing this when it's clearly should be doing that, and that's like, dude, it's all fake science, and we're arguing about this, but it's very fun, right?
True. It reminds me of like when I watch cop shows with a cop or medical shows. Or like when I was in college, I'd watch medical shows with my pre-med and nursing major friend, and they would point out every little thing that was wrong. I'm like, it's fiction. It's fiction.
Yeah. So
Nice. And where can we find you on social media so we can follow you?
yeah, play with toy. I'm playing with toy everywhere.
I like that. That's such a cute handle. I like that.
Well, it makes it easy to remember for sure.
All right, I'll just send you an ad. And thank you so much. I really appreciate you. You're amazing, and I can't wait to talk again soon.
Thank you, Sammy, so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. You're always welcome back.
Okay. All right. Bye.
Bye.